Dexter plays They Are Billions by Numantain Games. Welcome back to the They Are Billions After Action Report. We are looking at the Forbidden Forest, 320 Empire points, 300 tech points, and it reads, although it looks like a seemingly tranquil forest, this place shelters terrible creatures that seem to have come out of their worst nightmares. These mutant soldiers, known as the behemoths, were created by the ancient humans to kill the infected ones. However, they eventually succumbed to the pandemic and are now part of the enemy. The behemoth seems to concentrate on the Forbidden Forest, so your mission will be to annihilate them because there will be no peace for the Empire while these creatures walk the earth. So we gotta wipe everything on the map for Destroy All Infected. Get to 2,000 colony pop, which is probably 2 full markets or close to. Resist all swarms and destroy all villages of doom. So, when we first zoomed in, it looked like to the south we had the railway coming in and out. I like to look at that. The out, I can't see if it's going to be secure, and quickly we do find that out to be that we don't have to worry about putting gates down on the train tracks. But there are plenty of infected. There's a little bit of a way out through the southwest that I need to guard. But I've got stone to the northwest. I've got a big group of people to the northeast. And I just kind of push out on all ends to see what I'm going to get into. And on the map, I can see 7, almost like they're swarm indicators, but those are the mutants. And one looks to be pretty close. And I'm thinking, unless these guys really are a pushover, which I don't think they are, I'm figuring that they're going to be, difficulty-wise, somewhere between a giant and some of the other special infected like a harpy. So I'm figuring they're going to be pretty damn tough, and I'm going to want to have some defenses for them. I just don't know how much yet. But yeah, I quickly push off to the northeast and find that the area over there is enclosed, which is actually quite nice. So I need to focus north and west for my defenses. I've got a 16-day horde that's going to come in, and I'm expanding out. I did a pretty good job expanding my houses early on, but then I slowed down a little bit because I was concerned about what I might be pulling by expanding. I also wanted to get a nice, decent place for my market and bank in the future. I like the placement that I had there. I think it's 4x3 on houses. If I do 4x3 with the houses, then I can get a market and a bank in there. But anyway, keep moving in. We got the whole eastern side opened and cleared, and I got power down for all of that. We found iron over there. And at this point, I've decided I'm going to put a couple of walls down on the southwest entrance there and a little bit on the north entrance, just so that, if something does come in, I can go hide behind the wall and shoot from there. Again, we're taking advantage of the AI. If you kind of run around a wall and hide on the other side, they'll actually come hit the wall instead of just following you around the wall. I kind of like I like that in general. I mean, generally speaking with zombie AI, especially if there's multiple types, I like the basic zombies to be slow and stupid and, all that sort of thing. I prefer some of my more intelligent zombies to be the specials that will do things like look at the pathing and say, what? Why am I attacking the wall? I'll just go around here and get you on the other side. I don't think this game does that too well, personally, but that's fine. I mean, it's tough enough as it is. But yeah, we push off to the west, and I find that there's a little bit of a break. We got something down on stone. We got something down on iron. I got both the wood shop down and the soldier center down, and I'm popping out some soldiers. I wouldn't say I'm being aggressive about it, but I'm trying to be a little diligent about putting that down. And I find an early village of doom to the west, which is easily taken down. And we continue to expand out that way, and I'm curious to find what the map is going to look like. We found a couple of lakes over there. We found a lot of open area, which is great for potentially building another town over here to the west. And then what I haven't found yet is an entrance. So I haven't expanded to the point where I have a place where I can secure an edge of the map. I'd like to get to an edge so I can secure it if I can. Just on the off chance that's going to be the one that's going to do the work. Now, I have kept my soldiers down southwest. I've kept my rangers up northwest. just because I know the soldiers make a lot of noise and I want to be careful. It's around day 11 that I finally find the south entrance to the map, and I'm going to expand over there with my power with the intent of securing the south entrance. I have researched now market. I've researched the ballista. I've got farms researched, and I've got the cottages researched. And I'm getting kind of distracted in doing my expansion to the west. It feels like I have some areas here that I could secure. I haven't found like the best choke points to the north yet. At least I don't feel like I have. In fact, I had, but I just don't feel like I found the choke point yet. And so I continue to do some searching over to the north. And what I decided I'm going to do is I move my north wall up a little bit. I rotate it at 90 degrees to get it, perpendicular to the north and the north entrance there, if you will. And then I can continue to push out with my Tesla towers so that I can find out. I feel like I have a west entrance over here that I want to go find. And I do secure the south side. I put down my standard 2 ballistas. I'm doing research for the shock tower, and I want to see if I can get a shock tower down on the south, if that's where they come from. I do get it going before I get the horde to come in on the 15th day, and I also get stone walls researched, which is kind of nice to have before the first horde. I think I could probably do that without stone, but still. And then I get the notice that the horde's coming in from the east. So the east, I've already secured my east side, so that means that they're going to come around and hit my north wall. So I'm going to line up over there with all my soldiers and stuff, and I'm going to prepare for an attack on the north. And then I see during this attack that the mutant gets activated, and in comes the behemoth, and he was tough. He was 4,000 hit points as opposed to like 40 on a zombie. So he's 100 times more healthy, but he doesn't even get through the wall at all. So I'm feeling like this is pretty solid. If I do activate some more up there, I can always run them back to the wall. So I do push up with my soldiers, risking the chance of activating a mutant, and I'm rewarded with the fact that it doesn't happen. So the mutants do have the ability to get activated by, it looks like, either hordes or just a lot of noise. And that's something to be cognizant of as you expand. I have now, on the 19th day, I've expanded out to the west to the point where I found the edge. I've cleared out the edge, and I'm expanding my power over there so that I can put up a wall and secure it. And I also find that there's a Village of Doom just up there, and I tried to get the Village of Doom in my Rangers, but they just don't have the DPS. And so after pulling a horde back to the north wall, I decided I'm going to go up there with the soldiers to take out that Village of Doom. And at this stage, it's looking like maybe this side is secure. So now I really want to push over there and get a little bit more intel to see if that is indeed the case. Is it closed off? If it is, that's going to be an awesome state of the map at this point. I have a lot of wood, so this map is not going to be one where you can't use power stations. Still don't go bananas on your power stations because you still need wood. But we also have the foundry that we're going to want to put down because I have advanced mills as well as advanced quarries and advanced farms. So right around day 22, I have completely powered up my southern enclosure here. The whole south side of the map is me. And there's only one entrance to the north. So this is a good way to get this secured. I go up there and I end up pulling another mutant down and using him against, let him crash against my wall. He did chase my guys and do some damage. I think he got one soldier in that whole mess. But now I have a chance to expand up to the north and continue to do my housing builds. I feel, again, my housing isn't as aggressive as it could be. I think at this stage I might have even wanted to start off a second a second group of houses. Stone is running at a premium for me, and wood housing is, those cottages are pretty effective. So I think I probably should have started working on the wood cottages a bit more. Make sure I got my all of my resource collection down quick. Part of it is I look over at my resources and I see that I'm floating max on most of it. And so I feel like I don't really need to put down these resource collections. But then I spend it and all of a sudden I'm like, well, where's my next tick of whatever? I also think the warehousing needed to be down a little bit earlier. So if you're doing that, I think, focusing a little bit on your income, focusing on your resources and warehousing so you have a big store so you can start to do larger and larger upgrades is helpful. I do push off. I get up to the north and I put up a wall just to the northeast. And I have that there because I'm concerned the mutants are going to come down and hit me. I don't know what the map looks like at this point, and so I just figure, all right, well, let's just put this up here and defend. And then I start to expand to the northeast side. I want to get over to where east was. There was a zombie there was a mutant down there, and I didn't see the group come in from that section, so I want to get over there to see if I can expand down there and do a wall so that I could secure my east side. So then I'll have my south, my west, and my east secured, and I'll only have to worry about a potential potential batch from the north, which isn't a thing. The north is actually sealed, so you don't have to worry about that. You only have to worry about south, east, and west, but I didn't know that at this point. I do find that the area to the northeast is it's very interesting. This is the first time I think I've seen this on a map like this where there's a large area that's all broken up with like trees and stuff. It's a lot of space, but there's no consistent open spot. But I did end up pulling another mutant. And so what I decided to do is I dropped down some fences, and I ran behind the gate that I dropped down, and it stopped the mutant long enough for me to pump enough damage into him to take him down. So now I'm reevaluating a little bit about how scary the mutants might be. Don't get me wrong. The mutants are scary, but they're not that scary. So now I'm feeling pretty good. As long as I have a spot to pull back to, I'm okay. And so I purposely try to get up to the point where I can activate the guy to the northeast. There's one mutant to the northeast. So I'm trying to clear up to where he's at. As it turns out, I can't get to him. I didn't know that. And when I do activate him, for some reason, I'm confused at the time. He runs all the way over to the left. And that's kind of weird. But on day 31, I do have a new horde that comes in. They come in from the east again. This time the east side is secured and they run against my defenses. I have the standard shock tower and 2 to 3 bullet turrets along with a few wasps, and yeah, not a problem. Holds easy. But yeah, and then I go back and I'm going to try to get this guy to the north to come down at me. I'm building up a defense because I figure he's going to come down here and I'm going to want some place to have him crash against. And so I put up a little bit of a defensive structure there to the northeast of 2 ballistas and a shock tower. I think that was overkill. You can probably get away with just a ballista or 2 behind a wall. So that's just for reference. I do activate that mutant. I'm like, yeah, come on, baby. And then he starts running off to the east. I'm like, to the west. I'm like, what the hell? What are you doing? And then I find, there's a river or something to the north. And he's on the other side of the river. I get it. So he's trying to get over to me somehow, and he's not making it. So that's actually good news for me in a way, that I have this whole area in here that's defendable, in effect. I can actually just do a fence here and there as a choke point. I think at one point I do end up around day 35. I activate a whole bunch of guys and I just run them back to that defensive structure I have set up there to the northeast. And that takes them down pretty quick. And I bring up my rangers as well. So I'm using my soldiers to clear, and I'm using my rangers to protect the expansion of my Tesla towers across this region up there. I'm still trying to keep my expansion to go pretty good. I'm keeping it kind of aggressive. The upgrades it took me forever to get the foundry down. I think that was a combination of the fact that I was kind of slow on the warehousing, so I didn't have that much extra resources, so that I looked down and found the foundry. But when I finally got the foundry going, I did research in the order of quarry, farm, What else did I do after the farm? Oh, mill. And then I went into the engineering and the other items as well. All right, so by day 39, I'm just expanding my housing. I feel like I'm rolling at this stage. I do push up to the northwest area. I see a lake there, and I'm thinking, well, which way do I go? Is there an opening? And I find another village of doom up there, and I figure, well, you know what? Maybe I should just clear this section out. But it takes me a little while to make that decision. I am constantly running out of food. I'm running out of power. I'm dropping down more mills to try to get to a better power situation. And I'm dropping down mills aggressively because of the fact that I did not research the advanced mills yet. I did advanced quarry and advanced farm first. But after I've done pushing a little bit to the west-northwest, I decide, all right, hold on. I'm going to put in a little fortress. One of those little, outpost things. I have a ballista with 2 wasps surrounded by wood walls or stone walls. I'll let that go for a little while. As far as defending that area, it'll easily get run over if something serious comes down. But for the straggler or two that usually can cause me some problems with my Tesla towers, it's a good thing to put down. But I have now determined that whole area up to the north is an island, which is something easily secured. And now that I've got that secured and I can defend it, I did move my rangers out to near the middle of that island and go on chase just to see if they would find something, and they didn't. They tried to come around where the soldiers were. So I used both the rangers and the soldiers to clear to the west, northwest, and came around and found that there was a long alley, a long path on the north side of that river that had to be cleared out. So I just kept moving those guys over doing that while I was doing growth on upgrading all my quarries. I was upgrading all my farms. I was upgrading all my mills. Basically here I'm just building, and I'm building up my defenses. So my basic defense here for the 46th day horde, which comes in from the west, is just a line of wasps, 3 deep. It's about as deep as you can get. And I go for my end build, if you will, which is the executors, and I have shock tower on the wall. I have 3 rows of wasps on the wall. And then I have executors starting 2 to 3 back, and as far back as they can go and still reach the front of the wall. So that's generally my build out, and I find that puts in a lot of damage to the just the front of the wall that I don't have to worry about it. But I do find the last batch of villages of doom to the very northeast corner of the map. And clearing those things out on day 48 after I've already had that one horde come in. If I had cleaned them out before, I think I might have been able to stop. Nah, I'm not sure I could stop there. I was thinking that if I can clear it out early enough, then it would just say, okay, you're done. I have a 62-day horde coming in, and I'm figuring, well, I've pretty much blown off all the other hordes, so I'll just make sure my defenses are, in normal thickness. And after I create the normal thickness, and I still have like 12 days left to build, I'm like, all right, well, let me just start going crazy. And I started building a whole bunch of housing up in the island area. And I started to put in a second level of defense just in case. It's a contingency plan. I get a couple of Titans out. I'm putting at least 2 Titans on each wall for defenses there. And I'm thinking actually what would be nice in the future is if I have Thantos, I can put the Thantos there as well. But this feels pretty solid to me. I'm like, I'm going to blow off whatever comes in. So I'm just letting this stuff build, and I'm doing my upgrades, and I'm throwing out all my fishing villages, and I'm throwing out my farming villages, and I'm expanding my power. And the 2 entrances on the north side both run straight into a river. So they both they're blocked. I mean, I put up defenses there more out of boredom and just being thorough than a risk. So if you're getting pushed for your resources, don't build your defenses up there. I know that they aren't good because on the 62nd day, when the horde comes in from all directions, nothing comes in from up there. That whole defensive structure I have to the north is waste. It's boredom and waste. So I would suggest that your east, west, and south entrances should be a little bit thick. don't build anything near your walls there. Leave that space all for defense. And maybe a 2-layer defense is warranted. And we'll find that out here very quickly when the 62nd day horde comes in. They say, okay, they're coming in from all areas. Great. Let's just, whatever. I've got bodies there. I think I threw out a bunch of snipers as well. And then they come in and it's nothing but mutants? Holy crap! And the mutants actually pushed through my wall. We did get a visit in from the Emperor, which was like, great, thanks. I actually don't like that, I don't know about the mechanic. I don't like the story plot line with the Emperor. Maybe I'll like it better if things go differently at the end. Maybe this is all wrapping up to something at the end, but hey, whatever. I do get Thanatos in the research tree, and I save the rest of it. So take care. Bye-bye.
Creeping through the shadows in the corners of your mind. I go with the windows, I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a